When you get into an argument with him and stay in the argument with him, you think the cost is the argument itself, wasted time, frustration. But that's not actually the biggest cost. The biggest cost is what is happening to your body, your nervous system, your immune function, your ability to think clearly, your sleep, your physical health. And here's the thing. Most of this cost happens invisibly, but it's absolutely real. You might not connect it to the marriage. You might think it's just getting older, being stressed, having a bad luck with your health. But it's not random. It is the cumulative effect of staying in an emotionally abusive or emotionally unavailable dynamic. And understanding this cost might be the wake-up call that you need. Now, stay with me on this. You know that feeling during an argument. Your heart is racing, your chest is tight, you can't think straight. Everything feels urgent. That's not just an emotion. It is an emotion, but it's more than an emotion. It's also a physiological response in your body. When you're in conflict, your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Your nervous system is in fight mode. Your body is thinking it's under threat. And here's what's important. That response is designed to be temporary. In a healthy scenario, there's conflict, you resolve it, and your nervous system calms down, goes back to baseline because the crisis is over, your body recovers. But in a marriage with a man with narcissistic traits, the conflict is not temporary. The conflict is constant. Or at least the threat of conflict is constant. You're living with someone who might provoke you at any moment, who might gaslight you, he might lie to you, might criticize you, might withhold affection. And so your nervous system never fully calms down. It's in a state of chronic hypervigilance. Your body is in a low-grade stress response all the time. And that has real consequences. Let me walk you through what those are. Cost one, this is scary, but you need to know. Your brain literally changes. When you're in chronic stress, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thought, decision-making, emotion regulation, it actually shrinks in size. Not metaphorically, literally shrinks in size and function. Meanwhile, the amygdala, small paired area in kind of the core of the brain, that part which is responsible for detecting threat, that becomes hyperactive. So you're losing the capacity to think clearly and make decisions while simultaneously becoming more reactive and fearful. This is why you can't think straight. It's not that you're losing your mind. It's not that you're not a smart person. It's that your brain is being reorganized by chronic stress. Here's what that means for your life. You're not able to think through decisions clearly, and you can't regulate your emotions as well as you used to. You can't access your intuition. You're stuck in reaction mode. Here's cost two. Your immune system is compromised. Chronic stress suppresses your immune function. This is well documented. So you're getting sick more often, colds last longer, more susceptible to infections. And again, you might not connect this to the marriage, but your body knows, your body is keeping score. Your body's spending so much energy managing the stress response that it can't properly defend against viruses and bacteria. Cost three, your sleep is compromised. You might be lying awake at night, anxious to know what he might say or do tomorrow, or you might be staying awake replaying conversations in your head, unable to shut it off. Or you might be sleeping 8 hours but wake up exhausted because your nervous system was still in survival mode all night long. This is critical because quality sleep is when your body repairs, when your brain consolidates memory, when you process and resolve emotions. If your sleep is compromised, everything is compromised. And chronic sleep deprivation has real consequences. Increased inflammation in the body, weakened immune function, difficulty regulating emotions, impaired decision making, which makes everything feel harder, and accelerated aging. You actually age faster. This is just documented science. And cost 4, as if this isn't bad enough, inflammation becomes chronic. Chronic stress triggers inflammation in your body, not just in your muscles, but at a cellular level. And inflammation is the root cause of almost every chronic disease. So autoimmune conditions, fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, heart disease, metabolic disorders, neurological issues. So you might have developed an autoimmune condition while you've been in this marriage, and you might think, oh, that's just random, but it's not a coincidence. That's your immune system literally turning on itself because it's been in a constant threat response. And cost 5, your nervous system gets wired for anxiety. With repeated activation, every argument, every provocation, every gaslighting incident, your nervous system becomes conditioned to perceive threat where there isn't any. So eventually you're anxious all the time, even when nothing is happening. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're in constant anticipation of conflict, even if there isn't a conflict. You've developed what's called a heightened threat response, which means your nervous system is now permanently set on high alert. And that is exhausting. It's the kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, because the issue isn't a lack of sleep. It's that your nervous system is hyperactivated. And then there's cost 6. Your cells are literally aging faster. There's something called telomere shortening. Telomeres are the caps on the ends of your DNA strands, right? Think of the plastic bit on the end of a shoelace. And these shorten as you age. That's standard. But chronic stress accelerates the telomere shortening. So your cells are aging faster than they should be. Women in chronically stressful relationships have telomere length comparable to women who are 5 to 10 years older. So you're not just feeling aged, you're being aged by the stress. Cost 7, because we're not even done yet, your body gets stuck in shutdown. Because instead of staying in hyperarousal, your nervous system goes in the opposite direction, which is shutdown. Some people call it collapse, submit, shutdown. This is when you feel numb, disconnected, depressed, you have no energy, nothing feels good. You go through the motions, but you're just not really there. This is a form of dissociation. It's your nervous system's way of protecting you from overwhelming stress by essentially checking out. And while it feels like relief from the anxiety, it's actually another form of dysregulation. So you're not at peace, you're numb. And then there's the stress-related illnesses. Chronic stress doesn't just make you more vulnerable to disease, it actively creates disease. Tension headaches, migraines, digestive issues, irritable bowel syndrome, stomach ulcers, chronic pain, back pain, neck pain. Your body's literally manifesting the stress in physical symptoms. And you might have spent years trying to treat these symptoms, going to doctors, going to specialists, taking medication, going to physical therapy, without realizing the root cause is your marriage. And cost 9, if you're still with me, your ability to metabolize decreases. Chronic stress affects your metabolism as well, so your body can't process food as efficiently. So you might gain weight despite not eating more, or you might lose your appetite entirely. Your energy production is compromised because your body is dedicating resources to the stress response instead of basic healthy functioning. And cost 10, your memory and concentration are affected. Chronic stress impairs memory formation and retrieval. So you might feel like you're losing your mind, forgetting things, having trouble concentrating. It's an effect of chronic stress. And then, of course, the gaslighting makes it worse because he's telling you that you're remembering things wrong. And because your actual memory is impaired by the stress, you start to believe him. Now, here's the thing I want you to really understand. These are not small costs. These aren't just feeling bad. These are measurable physical changes in your body. Parts of your brain are shrinking in size. Your immune system is weaker. Cells are aging. Your nervous system is impaired. And every year you stay in this dynamic without finding a way to change the dynamic, the cost increases and really compounds. A year of chronic stress doesn't just mean you've had a stressful year. It means your body has aged. Your brain has changed. Your disease risk has increased. And if you stay for 5 years, 10 years without changing it, the damage, becomes more significant. Here's what's important. These changes are largely reversible. Your brain can regrow. You may have heard of neuroplasticity. Your immune system can recover. Your nervous system can heal. And your cells can slow their aging. But only if you remove the chronic stress, which means only if you either change your situation or change your participation in your situation. Some people understand, well, I guess if this is what the marriage is costing me, I need to get out. And maybe that is the right choice for you, but understand that the cost isn't even the worst when you're in it. The worst is actually after you finally leave, because your nervous system doesn't just turn off. You will take the trauma damage with you if you leave the marriage, if you choose to leave the marriage. So leaving the marriage might be the answer for you. I'm not telling you to stay or go. That's a conversation we can have, but it's not my place to tell you what to do. But it is my place to alert you to the costs of doing nothing. So you can't do nothing. You need to do something. And that's where I recommend that you, as a first step, join our free Detox Your Marriage community. The link is down below. And investigate what it would take to change your participation in the dynamic. That's possible. Women that we're working with right now are doing exactly that. They're changing their participation so they're no longer taking on this host effects, chronic stress effects that I've just been describing. They're able to stay emotionally regulated and stay their self in the marriage. If that is a curiosity for you, I invite you to click the other link down below and book a 15-minute clarity call with us. That's where we'll briefly take some time to understand your situation, how long you've been in it, what's it costing you, and we'll map out what change might look like. The call is free. The Detox Your Marriage community is free. And I invite you, if you feel like that's the path ahead, then go ahead. Here's the real question I want you to sit with. How much is your health worth? Because that's what you're trading right now. By doing nothing, you're trading your health for the hope that you'll be able to get through to him and he'll change. Here's what I want you to know. The moment you stop engaging in the dynamic, the moment you change your participation, your nervous system will begin to calm down. Not overnight, and not completely right away, but measurably. Your nervous system begins to calm down. Less emotional reactivity, less being triggered by what he says and does. And your sleep will begin to improve. Your anxiety will begin to decrease. The inflammation markers will drop. That happens because your nervous system is getting re-regulated. That's if you participate, if you find a way, and we can help you with it, to shift the way you're engaging. All right? I want you to ponder that. Join the Detox Your Marriage community. And if you feel like you're ready, then book a free, no strings attached, 15-minute call with us. And let's connect and talk through your situation.